Welcome back students. Now we are in the last video for our poem Our Casuarina Tree, and it is about critical appreciation. We are always asked to write critical appreciations of poems prescribed for our study, and here 10 lines only. Then second is the development of poem or the summary. It is also the development of thought in our poem. It is just a kind of paraphrasing of the poem. It may be a long poem, it may be a short poem, but we are to limit our this section to 20 or 30 lines each. You may write more lines. It depends upon your ability to adjust the time of the examination. Then our third part is about the theme or central idea of the poem. Just write a statement about the subject of the poem, what it is about, and then try to explain it, try to justify your that statement in 5 to 10 lines. Then our fourth part is which is about the critical comments on the text. Here we are to explain, point out figures of speech used in the poem, the language used by the poet, diction, the words, how he has chosen the words to suit the purpose, the images, the pictorial quality, the sensuous appeal of the poem. Then some appealing phrases. Pick out certain phrases from the poem, 10 or 5, and write them also that these are the proof of the appropriate diction or the power of the language of the poem. And then a few lines about the form and structure of the poem. We are to describe how the poem is formed, the number of stanzas, the number of lines in each stanza, and if the poem has any rhyme scheme, we are to tell it. This section should be limited to 10 to 15 lines, and then the conclusion. So if you follow these points, you will get a good critical appreciation. I have tried to show you by our this chapter critical appreciation of Toru Dutt's Casuarina Tree. So this is our first part. Some lines about the poet and the poem. You should try to create your own lines, packing it with meaning, conveying more and more meaning about the poem or the poet in these lines. So try to write on your own. This is only just a model or an example. So it runs like this. Toru Dutt is an Indian English poetess, one of the founding figures of Anglo-Indian literature that is now called Indian English literature. Toru studied Bengali, English, French and Sanskrit and learnt stories and songs about Indian mythology from her mother. She died of consumption at a young age of 21 in 1877. She has two collections of poetry to her credit, A Sheaf Gleaned in French Fields and Ancient Ballads and Legends of Hindustan. These are our lines about the poet. If you think any other important information may be added in these lines, you may add. Then a little description, a little introduction to our poem. Ancient Ballads and Legends of Hindustan, which was published posthumously in 1882. The poem Our Casuarina Tree is taken from this collection. It is an autobiographical poem in which Toru Dutt describes the majestic casuarina tree of her house garden in Kolkata, and in the mood of nostalgia, she remembers her happy childhood days spent under the tree and revives her past days spent with her deceased brother and sister who are dearer to her than her own life. The last part is a humble tribute to the tree by Toru. She wishes that the tree may be free from the clutches of death and become immortal. It is just the gist of the poem. Try to write gist of poem in your this starting introductory part. Then we move to our main body of the question, of our answer. It will take the most of the space in the answer. So, development of thought about the poem Our Casuarina Tree. In the first two stanzas of the poem, Toru depicts the casuarina tree encircled by a creeper vine like a huge python winding round and round the rough trunk, its height touching the very summit of stars. It has crimson cluster of flowers among the boughs accompanied by the birds, the swarms of bees and the monkeys. The poem begins with the description of the tree. The tree is so strong that it bears the tight hold of the creeper easily. The tree is described as being gallant and possibly brave, as very few trees could survive in the stranglehold of this creeper plant. The tree is metaphorically said as a giant due to its huge size, strength, and boldness. The poet then goes on to describe the life that thrives among the branches of the tree. Often at night, the garden echoes and it seems to be jubilant and the song has no end. At dawn, when the poet opens her window, she is delighted to see the tree. Mostly in winters, a grey baboon is seen sitting on the top of the tree, watching the sunrise and the baby monkeys leaping and playing in the lower boughs. The shadow of the tree falls on the huge water tank. Torudat says that it is not because of the majestic appearance that the tree is dear to her heart, but also that she, along with her siblings, has spent happy moments under it. The poet continues with a description of how strong the image of the tree is, even when in lands far away. Even in France and Italy, she can hear the tree's lament. The fourth stanza makes the tree an ever present companion of Toru, not only in the moments of joy, but also in those heavy ones of grief of bereavement. The poet wishes to consecrate the tree's memory and importance for the sake of those who are now dead, and looks ahead to her own death, hoping that the tree be spared obscurity. She immortalizes the tree through this poem, like how Wordsworth sanctified the yew trees of Borrowdale. He says, "May love defend thee from oblivion's curse," expressing her wish that love may shield the tree against the curse of forgetfulness. So this is just the summary. This is just the summarized paraphrase of the poem. Try to write 15 to 20 lines about any poem which we will read in our next classes. Then our next point is the central idea or theme. In simple language, here we will say what is the subject of the poem. We may take this part before the paraphrase section, before the development of thought, or you can take it after that part. So theme is the subject or input. You are not to write these things. These 2 or 3 lines are only to describe theme for you. So theme is the subject or important idea that runs through a piece of writing or discussion. In a poem, it is an idea or image developed throughout the work, or it is repeated throughout the work. Again and again, our attention is drawn towards that thing. It is the underlying message or central idea of the work. In our poem, Our Casuarina Tree, the tree, remembrance of past, and death are the repeated images. So, these lines are only for you to understand the concept of theme. We are not to include these lines in our answer. How our answer should run after uh, writing the paraphrase of the poem, we should say in our new paragraph that the poem is about the idea of death, memory, forgetfulness, and how to deny death and oblivion. Or we may say that the poem is all about the casuarina tree. Actually, the tree is just a medium to link the poet's past with the present. Or we may say that the poem underlines the memories in human life and suggests its only possible survival through love. We can pick out any of these sentences or any like these one. Try to limit your theme sentence only to one or two sentences. It should not be long like a paragraph. And then to suggest this statement, we will write for our this question. The tree brings to her mind the memories of the company of her brother and sister. Throughout the poem, we have seen this thing, both of whom are already dead. She is looking forward to death as an acceptable thing because she says, when my days are numbered, she hopes that the tree will be remembered forever, as she immortalizes the tree by writing a poem for it. So, this is the central idea, this is the theme, and these two or three sentences are to support our that statement of theme. So, paraphrase of the theme, gist or summary of the poem, paraphrase of the poem, then the gist or summary of the poem, and then we can say we are giving a title in one or two line to the poem. Then comes our critical part, figures of speech, form and structure of the poem. Form and structure of the poem, we will write that the poem consists of 5 stanzas. We are talking about our poem. The poem consists of 5 stanzas of 11 lines each, and the rhyme scheme is A B B A, C D D C, E E E. So in this line there are 4 lines, quatrains, and then there is a tercet. 4 lines, and 3 lines. It will be different for every poem because the form and structure of poem will be different. Sometimes we will not find any stanza like thing in new poetry. So it will depend upon the poem we are taking. This is all about the form and structure of the poem. You may write it in more than one sentence, that in this poem we have 5 stanzas. Every stanza has 11 lines, and these lines follow a regular rhyme scheme, which is this. Then it has many beautiful similes and metaphors. The creeper has been compared to a python which goes round and round the tree. It shows the bulky size of the creeper and its deadly embrace. The similes, the water lilies, spring like snow enmeshed, a grey baboon sitting statue like, are also very appropriate. The water lilies are white in color. These are spread far and wide on the surface of the broad tank under the shadow of the tree. It suggests those white innocent days of childhood passed under the tree, which are now but dead cold. So the white color and the snow, it suggests these things. The poetess compares the murmur of the tree to the sea waves striking against the sea beach full of pebbles. It is also very suggestive of sadness and forceful emotions, the forceful striking of the waves against the stony beach. You can enlarge this part if you find any other description in the poem. The giant for the tree and the scar for the creeper are examples of metaphor. The tree is compared to giant for its tall and broad stature. The image of a scarf is suggestive of lightness, comfort, and warmth one gets from a scarf round one's neck. So the python is only a scarf for the tree. I have, in our this slide, I have limited this part. I am going to take figures of speech in casuarina tree in another video where we will discuss important figures of speech and the examples of them in our this point. Now, after figures of speech, we are to comment about the language, the words, and the sensuous effect of the poem. For our this poem, we may write, Toru Dutt is very close observer. Toru Dutt is very close observer of nature. She loves nature and watches everything about the casuarina tree. Nothing about this tree escapes her notice. The tree, branches, flowers, birds, animals, tank, and other objects of nature are sensuously described. At night, in the dark, the nature song would have no ending when all human beings are sleeping. She creates the gloomy loneliness of evening when slumbered in his cave the water wraith, and when earth lay tranced in a dreamless swoon beneath the moon. The words used are appropriate and musical. Then our conclusion, our concluding part for the poem. Thus, Toru Dutt's poem, Our Khajuraho Tree, is one of the most representative poems from the collection Ancient Ballads and Legends of Hindustan. It shows that Toru Dutt, the poet, has a remarkable maturity that deceives her tender age. It is wrought, it is filled with fine poetic vision and imagery. It is a good poem, it is an impressive poem, it makes a good appeal. Very difficult to forget the poem after reading it. It captures our attention. So we are to write these good things depending upon the effect of the poem when we will read it. And thus we can end the answer to the question critical appreciation of a poem. I have limited the part of figures of speech. There are more figures of speech in our this poem. I am going to discuss them in our next slide. Till then, thanks student, and I wait for our next class. Thank you.